Mini Marvels by Heather Hammonds. Mini Marvels. Animals come in all shapes and sizes. Some are huge, others are so tiny that it is hard to see them. Tiny animals are found all around the world, in forests, on islands, and in the sea. Many of these tiny creatures hide from bigger creatures that would eat them up. Some hide by living high up in trees, and others are just very hard to see. Let's take a look at some of these amazing little animals. They are mini marvels. Actual size. Microfrog. Strawberry poison dart frog. Mini fact file. Lives rainforest, Central America. Eats small bugs such as ants. Size about 2 centimeters. Actual size. This little amphibian lives in tropical rainforests. Its bright colours warn other animals that its skin is very poisonous. The tiny female frogs lay eggs, which the males help to protect. When tadpoles hatch from the eggs, they hitch a ride on their mother's back. She takes the tadpoles to live in a rainforest plant until they become frogs. A seahorse so small. This amazing pygmy seahorse is found on coral reefs in warm, tropical seas. It looks like the coral, which helps it hide from predators. Many pairs of pygmy seahorses live on one piece of coral. The female seahorse lays eggs. Then the male carries the eggs in a pouch to look after them. About 2 weeks later, the eggs hatch. The baby seahorses swim away to find their own coral home. Mini fact file. Lives coral reefs, Western Pacific Ocean. Eats plankton and tiny sea animals. Size about 2 centimeters. Actual size. Pygmy seahorse. Pygmy leaf chameleon. Pygmy leaf chameleon. Mini fact file. Lives forest, Madagascar. Eats tiny insects. Size about 3 centimeters. Actual size. This is one of the smallest chameleons in the world. It is so small when it's born that it can fit on a person's fingernail. During the day, the chameleon hunts for insects on the ground. At night, it rests in the lowest branches of small bushes. It uses its short tail as an extra leg to help it climb. Like other kinds of chameleons, it can change colour to make it harder to see and to help it hide from predators. Micro bumblebee bat. The bumblebee bat lives in dark caves in the rainforest. It sleeps during the day. Just after the sun goes down, this bat zooms out of its cave to hunt insects. It also hunts just before sunrise. This little night creature makes high-pitched squeaks. Then it listens for the sound to come bouncing back off juicy insects. That's how it finds its prey. Mini fact file. Lives Myanmar and part of Thailand, Southeast Asia. Eats insects. Size about 3 centimeters. Actual size. Bumblebee bat. tiny bee hummingbird. Bee hummingbird. Mini fact file. Lives, island of Cuba, Caribbean. Eats, nectar from flowers. Size, about 5.5 centimeters. Actual size. The bee hummingbird is so tiny and fast that it's hard to see. It is the smallest bird in the world. It zips from flower to flower in its tropical environment. It eats the sweet nectar from tropical flowers. This mini bird has brightly coloured feathers that help it blend in with the colourful flowers. Pygmy Possum. This possum is so small that it's no bigger than a mouse. After a long day of sleeping, the cute little micro-mammal is ready for action. Using its strong claws and long tail, it scurries around the treetops and hunts for food. The possum sips sweet nectar and licks pollen from forest flowers. Insects are on the menu too. Mini fact file. Lives, forest, Eastern Australia. Eats, insects and nectar from flowers. Size, about 9 centimeters with a long thin tail. Actual size. Pygmy possum. Blue-ringed octopus. Southern blue-ringed octopus. Mini fact file. Lives, oceans of southern Australia. Eats, shellfish such as crabs. Size, about 15 centimeters. Actual size. The southern blue-ringed octopus lives close to the seashore, around rocks and reefs. This octopus may be small, but it's one of the most poisonous creatures in the ocean. When it is upset, the blue rings on its body glow brightly. This warns animals to stay away. This mini sea monster is also a super hunter, using its poison to catch little crabs and other shellfish. Flying dragon. Flying dragon. Mini fact file. Lives, rainforest, Southeast Asia. Eats, termites and ants. Size, about 21 centimeters. Actual size. The flying dragon is a tiny lizard. It has very long ribs with special folds of skin between them. These look like wings. When the lizard spreads its wings, it is able to glide from tree to tree in the rainforest. It uses its long tail to steer. It is not safe for this little lizard to spend much time on the ground. It would soon get eaten by predators. So, for most of its life, it stays safely up in the tree branches, gliding around or eating termites and ants. Glossary. Amphibian. A cold-blooded animal that lives partly on land and Glossary. Amphibian. A cold-blooded animal that lives partly on land and partly in water. Coral reefs. Ocean areas filled with coral where lots of animals live. Environment. Everything around a living thing, the natural world that it lives in. Mammal. A warm-blooded animal that feeds milk to its young. Nectar. A sweet liquid found in the flowers of some plants. Plankton. Very tiny animals and plants that live in water. Pollen. A powder found inside flowers. Predators. Animals that catch and eat other animals. Prey. animals that are hunted and eaten by other animals. Reefs, lines of rock or sand near the sea's surface. Tadpoles, tiny animals that hatch out of eggs and turn into frogs. Termites, small insects that eat wood.